Now, Neil, you've actually published many different approaches to pitching guest posts, and some of your approaches are more rapid fire, if you will. How does that line up with the spending a lot of time researching the comments, right? If you want to get a lot of guest posts, do you have time to read all the comments, or kind of tell me a little bit about that, your thoughts on that?
Sure. So in the business world, if you don't have enough time, right, try the rapid approach. It works. You have to go for quantity. You're not going to get the ideal ratio. If you want a high hit ratio, you are going to have to spend time, whether it's reading the comments, the past content, past guest authors, as well as like the about page, the current authors, so forth and so on, right? I don't think you can do a good job without spending at least an hour, if not multiple hours. But you could also do the rapid-fire approach. I've tried it. It works. The problem with it, again, is you're not going to get a high hit rate, so you're going to have to actually end up sending out hundreds of emails, which is what most of the people do that Copy Blogger or I or whoever may end up getting, or Kristi gets for guest posts. They're irrelevant. They're not reading. They're doing the rapid-fire, right? But I recommend if you're going to do the rapid-fire approach, at least spend like 10, 20 minutes looking over a blog to understand what they're about, because it's not going to work if you just start sending a business blog or a marketing blog about, hey, I want to do a guest post about online dating and how to find your perfect match, right? It's not going to work. You're going to be wasting your time.
Right. And it sounds like, too, John and Kristi, that kind of what you're saying is that the bigger blogs, you're starting to push back on that a little bit more. Like, how, you know, how quickly are you able to kind of spot that sort of rapid-fire approach, and you know, where do you go from there? I mean, obviously, just tell them no, but
yeah, I mean, you can spot it in what, less than 5 seconds when you open an email. I mean, a lot of times it's funny, they even like use the wrong name in the email, you know, you just know when they do that it's like, dude, you just ruined it forever by doing that. So, but people do it all the time. And yeah, I mean, they give you a headline that's like, your blog is about marketing and it's about dating for the guest poster, like Neil said. So it's really obvious. And you can even, I mean, you get to know the language patterns of people. When people are sending a lot of emails like that, the emails tend to be very formal. And when people are fans of yours, they tend to be really informal. And they tend to have more like friendly language. So I mean, you get a sense of it just from the way that they talk too.
Right on, Kristi. What are your thoughts here?
I have a whole slideshare presentation of just like the bad emails I've gotten on my blog for guest post requests, and I mean, there was a point I could probably like do a search in Gmail for like 100% copyscape, 500 to 600 words, and I would get like 50, 60 emails because people were using the exact same template over and over again. Or they don't fill the template out right, so the email just says, I love your website, www.domain.com, and you're like, you didn't even take time to send the like correct template.
Consequently, Neil actually wrote that template, so,
oh, no.
you know.
My template requires Odes, though. With Odes, you can actually customize them all and make them seem friendly. If you hire someone good. If you don't hire anyone good, you're screwed because their English is going to suck. But I've written a lot of these templates, actually, funny enough, for guest posting, link building, and so forth and so on.
Now, here's an interesting question, too, and this is kind of for everybody. Does the template, I mean, I know I've started to use templates a little bit more because I'm trying to become more systematic in my approach because I'm taking the whole thing to the next level, but like, as an editor, right, how, do you know that it's a template? I mean, obviously you know that it's a template, but like, what makes the difference between someone using a good template and just kind of like,
yeah, well, I mean, for me, I mean, I provide my students templates in my guest blogging course, and I'm sure people are starting to notice those because, I mean, I've had over 1,000 students now, and these people are pretty serious about what they're doing, and I mean, yeah, I mean, for me, when I receive a template email like that, for me, it's not so much about whether they're using a template or not. it's about, is it on topic? Is it a really great headline? Is it a really great idea? If it's not, then, I mean, the best written email in the world isn't going to save you. On the other hand, if it is a really good headline and it really is a really good idea, and they pitch it really well, then if they're using a template, I mean, to me, yeah, I'll notice, but if the idea is great, then, I'm not going to reject a great idea just because it's using a template.
Right. Okay. And I think it really comes down to, like, figuring out what that great idea is, right? And that's the whole idea of doing the research.